Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Uneducated Gambler. On today we're going to be focusing on my Reno and Lake Tahoe trip. This particular episode is going to be my rants, my wins, and my disappointments. Okay, and as I'm going through all this, I'm going to be focusing on I'm going to have a $1,000 buy-in. And I'm gonna focus on the 6 and 8 field, outside press, and the DGE system, okay? So I visit, in my trip, which was last week, started on a Tuesday, I visit multiple properties. One of the properties that I visit was Peppermill right here. Peppermill was a good, has a good facility, awesome. Also, I visit El Dorado Resort right here, which was pretty good. I also visit Silver Legacy, where I stayed in Reno. I also visit the Grand Sierra Resort, which was good. And then in Lake Tahoe, I visit Harris, which I stayed at Harvey's, and I visit the Golden Nugget. Bally's pretty much was shut down until 4 p.m. Now, first things first. First day, arrive into the casino, and I'm scared shitless. You know, it doesn't matter how much you practice, you know, day in and day out. For some apparent reason, when you're actually playing with real money, hard-earned money, and you get up to the table and get a buy-in, for some apparent reason, you're scared shitless because you're scared that you're gonna lose. You don't know exactly how the dice is gonna roll until you get some type of comfort zone. So on day one, I was at the Silver Legacy, went down, bought in for $1,000 and had $3,000 to back, and I folded. I just went ahead, colored up, didn't play, stood there for about 10 minutes, decided not to play, stomach was turned up, like wow. Now, I love craps. It's very entertaining, you get a lot of action, and at the same time, I'm not there to gamble, I'm there to make money, okay? So let's go ahead and get this game started while I'm talking. So on day one, we're gonna go ahead and set up our table with a come out roll. So again, I'm gonna start off on stick left 1, stick left, and using the 3V set. Dice out. And that's gonna be a 5-2-7. 5-2-7. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do the pass and don't pass minimum, $15 table, max 5,000. Okay, let's do it again. There we go. Dice out, I'm also doing the underhand toss. Okay, 5-1-6, the point is a 6. Okay, so I'm gonna pause it right there till I get everything done. So first day, I started playing at the Silver Legacy. I was scared shitless, so I didn't play. I stood there for 10 minutes with my chips and then colored up and said I'm out. So we decided to go on over to Peppermill. Well, first and foremost, Silver Legacy, when I was there, I noticed the first thing I look at is what is the minimum and what is the max. I don't know if Reno assumed that they're like Vegas, but they're not. Pretty much Harris, Caesar property pretty much absorbs pretty much all of the gaming market for as in Reno, because they have 3 casinos downtown and they have 2 casinos that's in Lake Tahoe. So Harris/Caesars pretty much dominates, you know, Reno and Lake Tahoe. Besides, you have Peppermill in Reno, they have 1 facility, you have Atlanta's, you have the Nugget. Those facilities, they only have 1 facility each. And then in Lake Tahoe, you have Bally's, which they don't open up until 4 o'clock for as gaming, which tables. Then you have the Golden Nugget, and you have, well, that's pretty much it. So first day after I decided not to play at Silver Legacy, went on over to Peppermill. So went on over to Peppermill. Again, let me backtrack again. Over at Silver Legacy, looking at their minimum and max, I never seen this before, other than a cruise. They had a minimum bet, which was $15, and a max bet was $1,000. And I'm like, that is stupid. And then you had 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times odds. So everything is pretty much set up to where if you martingaling, or if you're trying to get back, if you get deep into losing your money, to try to get your money back, it's going to be hard as hell. I've never seen $15 minimum, $1,000 max, okay? Other than on a cruise ship where it was a $10 minimum, $1,000 max. For a $15 table, I'm assuming that the max bet should be $5,000, okay? So that was a red flag to me. So after that, I went on over to the Peppermill. Peppermill, very beautiful establishment. I love it. I just felt comfortable there. So I went up to the table, and lo and behold, I saw the minimum was $10 minimum and $1,000 max. And I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty reasonable. So I'm playing. Now, these are my results from playing over at Peppermill, okay? So any of these dark shades are my rolls, okay? You know, I think I did pretty good. This roll here, my second time rolling, I rolled 28 numbers. The first, I rolled 11 numbers, okay? Now, the third time I rolled 10 numbers here, all right? And then the fourth time I rolled, I had 10 numbers. The fifth time I rolled, I had 18 numbers, all right? So I did pretty good at Peppermill. So at Peppermill, I focused on using the 6/8 feel, the outside press, and the DGE method, meaning that for every 5/9 feels, I played the feel. I placed odds against the 4 and 10 when they had multiple, when they had about 4 or 5 4s or 10s that rolled out. I also played on the don't when I was down, you know, so I played hedging my bets. I didn't hedge my bets as much, but I had some good rolls. So for day one, I made a total profit of about $653, you know, which was good. Now, the only thing I have to say about Peppermill is I was playing stick left 1, and they had a young lady who was in the box, and she was the stick person. I experienced rudeness from dealers before, but not on this level. I'm shooting, this young lady was like, oh, you can't cross over here doing that. And she was putting her stick her stick was like right here. And if I'm shooting from right here, she had a stick right here to make sure that it could block my shot, or how I was underhand tossing and stuff like that. And then she just was being rude. And I'm like, are you serious? Just nitpicking on anything. And I'm tossing, I'm underhand, I'm tossing. I'll get to the point to where I'll hit the back wall. Then I had some tosses where the dice will fall and it just stopped just like that. It went by there like, oh, you need to hit the back wall. Both dice need to hit the back wall. Meaning they were on my ass, you know, and I was like, okay, ma'am, you don't have to be so rude. You acting like that, you know, I'm here, you know, like I'm a villain or something. And it was only towards me because you had a gentleman shooting all the way from the hook and wasn't even hitting the wall. They wasn't telling them anything. But every time this young lady was riding me like she was riding a horse. And I just say, you know what? I'm not going to let it get to me. The best thing I can do is win the money and get up out of there. Okay? So I love playing over there. It was awesome. It got even better when her ass went on break. So I enjoyed it. So that's my story for Peppermill. So let's go ahead. We have a 6 here. Now, one of the strategies I did do, if the point was a 6 or 8, a lot of times I did the outside press, but when the point was a 6 or 8, I was like, you know what? I'm trying to cover more numbers. So I did the minimum on the 5, and I did the minimum on the 8. Is almost like an iron cross, and I did the minimum in the field, okay? Now, the only thing that transpired is I have an initial bet of $48 out there instead of $60, all right? So I decided, let me just go off with this first and see. Now, if the point is a 5, if the roll is gonna be a 5 or 8, yes, I will lose this and only gain $6, but I was willing to do that. I was taking 2 to 3 hits and then turning off. So now, let's go ahead and roll it out. Here we go, dice out. And that's snake eyes. Snake eyes. Snake eyes. So 15, it pays double, it pays 30. Pays 30. Right. So that's snake eyes. Okay, let's run that back. Here we go. Dice out. Wow, you can't make this up. That's a 12. 12 pays double. So that's another 30. So I just made $60. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Turn me off. Turn my bets off. Okay. So let's run it back again. Here we go, dice out. And that is a 437. 437. So now, after playing at Peppermill, this is crazy. I was so involved in the atmosphere and playing, the table games. Wind up leaving the Peppermill, going back to Silver Legacy. And then I realized that, oh my goodness, I lost my phone. I lost my phone at the Peppermill. So wind up having to take an Uber or a Lyft back to Peppermill, go to security, somebody turned in my phone, then take an Uber back. So that means that on day 1, I took a total of 5 Lyft or Uber, which was costly because you're looking at about $15 per trip. So that's $75 that I wind up spending on Lyft just because I left my phone because I wasn't paying attention. So now on that night at the Silver Legacy, I played for about 20 minutes. And these are my rolls right here. For the Silver Legacy, I played from 6:20 to 6:40, 20 minutes. I call that a hit and run. My first roll, I had 15. I rolled 15 numbers. The second one, it was just 2 numbers because I was at the table by myself. My third roll, I only had 3 numbers. And then my fourth roll, I had 10 numbers. I was already up about $150. And then they had people show up. So I was like, you know what? I'd rather play by myself. 2 people showed up. I said, I don't want to play with other people. So I just left. But in this roll, when I first started at the table, I was the only one at the table. Look at here. I rolled 4 2s, 4 deuces in a row, 4 in a row. And yes, I was betting the field at the time. So that means that was a quick $120 right off the bat that I won just off my first roll. And I was playing the pass line and I hit I hit 2 points. So that was pretty good. Now where I gave some of the money back was on my second and third roll. And then I made a little bit on my fourth roll, and then I was out when 2 other players bought in. So that was pretty good. So that was pretty good, making like $150 in 20 minutes. It was awesome, okay? Now that night, I went back at 9:10, and I played till 10:45 at Silver Legacy. And they had multiple people at the tables, and these are the rolls right here. Okay, I see a lot of players didn't actually hit a lot of numbers. My first roll, I had 9 numbers that I rolled. Okay, 9 numbers that I rolled, and that was it. I only played for a short period of time, which was from 9:10 to 10:45. Everything was slow rolling, and I was like, you know what, I'm out of there. I'll just wait till tomorrow. So at Silver Legacy, had a good time. Now what I did was on the next day, and we'll talk about the next day once I go ahead and go through this. Let's go ahead and roll out the dice again. Here we go. Dice out. Whoa. That is a 4-2-6. That is a 4-2-6. So we back on the 6, and we're gonna play 48. We're gonna do 5 minimum on 5-8, and we're gonna play the field. Right. Here we go. Dice out. And that's gonna be a 5-1-6. 5-1-6. So we lose the field. Point hit. Okay, let's get a come out number again. Now, one thing I did notice is that I started rolling a lot of non-field numbers for as a 6-8. And that's a, oh no, the bets was off because I'm waiting for the point. That's a 6-1-7. 6-1-7. So I was losing a lot of fields, but I was getting it back. You know, dice out. That's a yo 11. Yo 11. Dice out. And that's going to be a 6-4-10. Point is a 10. I'm not going to hedge it. I'm just going to play the 6 and 8 for the minimum. And I'm going to play the field. All right. Here we go. Dice out. That is a 6. And this is where you get in trouble. Yes, I could have been doing $30 on a 6 and 8, 15 in the field, and wind up if they hit a 6 or 8, I still win $20. But I didn't do that. I was trying to minimize my losses. I only bet 51 on the table when the point was like a 10, a 9, a 5, or a 4, or a hedge against it, okay? So here we had a 6, we lose the field, which is 15, but we win 21 because of the 6. And then we just replace the field. Now, when that was happening, I will focus on 3 hits and turn down. Now, very seldom I was betting when other people was rolling because I didn't want to get popped, okay? Dice out. And that is a 4-2-6. That happened a lot. 4-2-6, lose the field, gain 21 for the 6. So that's 21. I come back in the field with that. Okay. Now I normally just wait for 3 hits. Here we go. Dice out. And that is a hard 10. Point hit. Hard 10. Point hit. So in the field, I have 15. It pays 15. So all total, I made $15, $20, $27. So that's pretty good. So now let's continue where we left off. So what I did was The next day, I woke up about 4 o'clock in the morning. I played the table by myself at Silver Legacy from 4:45 to 6 a.m. And I was the only one at the table. And these are my rolls right here. Okay, these are my rolls. And I kid you not, I just got on fire. I was going minimum was minimum was 6 numbers I was hitting. So if you look at it, I was getting heated up. I had some 10. I rolled 10 numbers on some of them. I did some 7s, some 12s, some 6s. Again, playing for an hour and 15 minutes that morning, which was awesome. It was amazing. Then you had individuals that were showing up. You see here? Yeah, right here. Okay. So everything went according to plan. And then you had some individuals that were showing up. So played a little bit, had two numbers I hit, then 4, then I just tapped out. Made a profit of about $250. All right. Now, the experience at Silver Legacy was pretty good, okay? Again, my experience at Peppermill, love playing at Peppermill, but the rudeness of the dealers, you know, I was just flabbergasted. There was one day I went to the Peppermill, I think it was on a Thursday, went to Peppermill after coming back from Lake Tahoe. Oh my goodness, never seen this before. They had $5 minimum and $1,000 max. I played the table for about 20-30 minutes, made like $50 and then left. I was just shocked. For a Thursday, having a $5 minimum, I think that they was just trying to get people on the table, because after they had about 4 or 5 people on it that got on the table, they changed the minimum to $10 minimum, okay? So like the Peppermill, the environment is good and everything. I like Silver Legacy, it was good. Now, Atlantis, I didn't feel comfortable at Atlantis. You know, I think it's just how it is. I just didn't feel comfortable at Atlantis. I didn't feel comfortable at Grand Sierra. I played there for a short period of time. It had a nice table. They had the roll of wind table. Played that because I never played it before, and guess what? I would never play it again. Can't stand that you have to shoot from the edge and stuff like that. It's a hard surface, so I won't play that again. But Grand Sierra, it was all right. They had a $10 minimum, I think it was $5,000 max. So it was pretty good. Just played there just to get the benefit of playing. To say I played there was good. They had a lot of players that was at the table, only one table that was open. So I just played my 2 rolls, and then after that, I just left because I didn't want to bet on anyone else. You had a lot of random shooters. You had no one that was setting the dice. So I didn't want to lose my money on someone else's roll. So wound up going back to Silver Legacy. And going back to Silver Legacy, you know, it was amazing. I have to say it was amazing, because I went back to Silver Legacy, and I played here from 4:30 to 5:25. And as you look at it, my first roll was horrible. It was a 0.7. But my second roll, I hit 7 numbers. The next roll, 5 numbers. The next roll, I actually had a total of 18 numbers. I rolled a total of 18 numbers. My next roll was 2 numbers I hit. And then I came with a big hit right here. I rolled a total of 37 numbers from my second to last roll, okay? 37 numbers. I hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hit 6 points. And they had the fire bet. I'm talking about, you know, yes, I think hitting 4 numbers, unique points, hitting 4 points, that was a total of 25 to 1, okay? So yes, the table made a lot of money. I'm talking about they made a lot of money just off of my roll. And yes, I wasn't betting correctly. You know, I wasn't betting correctly. I was still doing my little strategy, get 3 hits, turn down. I made a lot of money by hitting my points. I didn't place odds on it, but I won money. I won over like $400 and something. Now, players at the table, they were pressing, they was doing that. One gentleman made like $3,000 off my roll. Another guy made $2,200. A couple guys who was just same betting. They made like $600-700 off of my roll. You know, so it was pretty good. Now, I don't know if any of you are slot players, but I cannot stand the slots, especially at Silver Legacy, okay? Went to Silver Legacy and my intentions was just to play craps. So I played slots. They have this new game, Mo Money. They have, you know, one that with the ghosts and stuff like that. You know what? Garbage. I'm saying that because I lost. I put $700 in there. I'm doing $5 spins. Guess what? Took the whole $700. No bonus, no line hits, no nothing. I'm like, these machines are tight. Go into the high roller room. Like, you know what? Forget it. I'm betting $5 spins on Huff and Puff. Now this whole entire trip, I'm up until I go ahead and play slots. Go into the high roller room, play Huff and Puff, Huff and even more Puff, and I'm down $500. I get into the bonus. I get 6 mansions. I'm like, okay, I'm about to get a hand pay. Guess what? I'm down $500. The machine pays me exactly $500. Never seen that before. So now I'm even. I know everybody says that when you're even, it's still considered a win. Not to me. So I get 2 more bonuses. After I get down, I get 2 more bonuses. So I'm like up about $100. I move over to another Huff and Puff that's in the high roller room. I'm doing $10 bets. I get down $600. I get into the bonus. Again, I get 6 mansions. What happens? I get my $600 back. No profit whatsoever. So now I'm teed off. So I'm down $700 all total. So I have to take that as a loss. I'm like, you know what? I should have never played slots because my intentions was to just play craps. Okay. So let me get back on with this roll, guys, on this come out. So here we go. Dice out. And that's going to be a 6, 4, 10, 6, 4, 10. Now we're still going to play the 6, 8 field. All right, 6, 8 field. All right, here we go. Dice out. And that's going to be a 5, 4, 9. 5, 4, 9. So 15 in the field pays 15. We're going to collect on that. Now again, the whole entire time I started getting to the point where I was saying that, you know what? I'd rather play early in the morning when I'm the only one at the table. I didn't want to play with other individuals. Dice out. Ooh, that's a big bounce. That is a 5, 3, 8. 5, 3, 8. We lose the field. So the 8 pays 21. 21, we replace the field, so we only win $6. Because you had a lot of individuals that was just random rollers. And I didn't want to lose my money. Dice out. That's going to be a 6, 3, 9. 6, 3, 9, 15 pays 15 in the field. Right? So that's my 2 or 3 hits. I'm going to turn my bets off. Now, on the Thursday, dice out. That's a 6, 3, 9. Now, on Thursday, I did decide to go ahead and play and bet on other players. And when I did that, I kid you not, bought in for $500. I bought in for $500. Dice out. And the first shooter, that's a 4, 549. First shooter, I did the 6-8 field. 2 rolls later, pop, get popped for $51, down $51. Next shooter, a 6. I go ahead and do the outside press. 7 out, I'm down $60. The next shooter, they roll a 5. So I do the 6-8 field. Guess what? 7 out. I lose $51. So out of 3 shooters, I had 2 7 outs, and I hit 1 number. So right then and there, it tells me I'm down $150. Then I go ahead and shoot. I get a 4, so I do a 6-8 field, and then I 7 out. So now I'm down a little over $200, and I'm like, okay, this is not looking good. So I said, well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and up my bet to try to recoup my losses. On the next shooter, he looked like he was a good shooter because I seen him roll 2 times. So he rolls a 5, and I go ahead and hedge against the 5 and do the 6, 8, 9, and field. Well, he throws a repeater, a 5. So now I'm down $75 again, so that I'm down almost $300. Okay, $300, and I lose the field bet. I'm like, wow. So now I'm like, you know what? Need to take a break. Colored up. I'm down $300. Okay, so here we go again. Dice out. So the most I was actually down in one session was $300 in craps. Dice out. Dice out. Okay, that's gonna be a 415. My bets are off. Dice out. Ace deuce. Ace deuce. Now again, if you're a craps player and you go in to play craps, go to play craps. Don't go there thinking that you're gonna go ahead and that's a 437, that you're gonna go ahead and play slots. Okay, 437. Now, you go play slots. Those are computer program machines. Yes, they're there to take your money. If you win, that's pure luck. Craps, having a dice in your hand to try to influence the outcome is one thing. Okay, you can lose your money in craps, but I feel much more comfortable playing craps than playing slots. So I'm not a slot player, especially out there, because I is just my opinion. In Reno and in Lake Tahoe, those slot machines at those Caesar Harris properties, like El Dorado, Silver Legacy, Circus, and then Harvey's and Harris in Lake Tahoe, those machines were tight. Tight as I don't know what. I would never play slots over there again. Never. You there to donate money if you're playing slots, okay? You're there to donate money. Now, on the last day, I played after going to Lake Tahoe, wound up winning a little money at, I wound up winning some money at Harris. I played at Harris because, if you're gonna stay at Harvey's in the next month or two, they have a lot of construction going on over there, okay? They don't disclose that, but there's a lot of construction inside of the casino, especially inside of the by the check-in desk. It's a catastrophe. You walk in through a war zone, where they have all kind of construction going on. Now, the room that I had was awesome, good room. But I didn't feel comfortable at that casino, so I never played at the casino Harvey. I just went and took the tunnel and played at Harris for a little bit on the table. It was awesome, okay? Now, out in Lake Tahoe, Golden Nugget. That table is bouncy as hell. I'm talking about, I'm underhand tossing for stick left one. That doggone dice hit, boing. It is bouncy as I don't know what. Made $50 there and I bounced up out of there. Like, I don't like bouncy tables, that was that. So I would never play on a bouncy table like that, never. On the next day, second to the last day, went back over to, back to Reno, my wife and I. And these were I think I showed you those rows. I played right here. Well, they changed, I think it was Friday night. The minimum of the table changed at Silver Legacy. It was $25 minimum, $1,000 max. Never heard of that in my life. Never in my life. I stood there, bought in. These were the roles of some of the players, and then I realized, you know what? I don't even much want to play. I don't even much want to play. So I just colored up and left. So I didn't even play Friday at all because the minimums was $25 and the max bet was $1,000. I never heard of anything like that. But in all, it was an awesome trip, and we're gonna leave it as that. It was an awesome trip. Made some money, made a total profit, lost like about, let's say $1,000 in slots, which this would have been a winning trip, but in accordance to craps, I actually won a total of, I think it was like $1,300. So it was a good trip on craps, but a horrible trip when it came to slots. So I would never do that again. So let's color all this up to see exactly how much we made in that short period of time. Again, we had $1,000 buy-in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 500. 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's $1,000. So this is our profit for that little short period of time. That's 100. So we made $108 in that short period of time, just going over my rent, my wins, and my disappointments. Now, I'm kind of sort of disappointed in Reno and Lake Tahoe. My expectations were high. If you go to Reno, Lake Tahoe, just think of it this way. The only thing there is to do there is gamble at both places. If you're a gambler and you love gambling, that will be heaven to you. But if you want to gamble all day, other than that, there's nothing else to do. Now in Lake Tahoe, you can go hiking. Also in the wintertime, people go there to ski. Summertime, people actually go in and utilize the lake, okay? But in Reno, it is dead. There's hardly nothing to do but gamble, all right? To me, there's hardly no attractions whatsoever. So that was my disappointment. I had high expectations of Reno and Lake Tahoe, but it was an awesome trip. Now the ride from Reno to Lake Tahoe is gorgeous, it's beautiful. And the ride going back from Lake Tahoe to Reno is beautiful. If you're ever out there, try to stop in Truckee, Nevada. It's a beautiful little small town and it's beautiful, very beautiful. So again, I'm gonna end the video right there with my rant and my wins and my disappointments. Again, I can't stress this enough. If you're gambling your money, your hard-earned money, again, I don't like to gamble. Oh, before I forget, at Silver Legacy, they had a guy when I was at the table by myself at 4:30 in the morning. I'm rolling, I'm winning. The guy said, "Oh, you're not a gambler." I'm like, "No, I am not a gambler. I'm here to win money." Gamblers lose because they're not disciplined and they don't know when to quit. Because he was mad because I was turning my bets off every 3 rolls. I was making money. He was like, "Well, you're not pressing your bets and all that." I said, "It's my money. I do what I want to do. Thank you so much." So after I colored up, after my session, made my couple $100, I politely tipped him $30 and say, you have a nice day, sir. But I just feel as if dealers need to keep their comments to themselves. You're gambling your hard-earned money. Now I have to double back to Peppermill again. Oh my goodness, beautiful casino, but the dealer, this one lady just, I didn't let it got under my skin a little bit, but I kind of waved it off, but I just can't get it out of my head. I can't stand rude dealers, especially when I'm betting my money, okay? Rude dealers. If you experience rude dealers, please share it with the community. Put it in the comment section that, you know, it was rude dealers. But other than that, Peppermill in Reno is a place you want to be. If you feel comfortable, it feels like Vegas. It's awesome. It's awesome. Silver Legacy, it was awesome, okay? Harvey, I didn't feel too comfortable there, but it was all right. Would I do Reno, Lake Tahoe again? Yes, I would do it again. I love traveling. I like hiking. It's just, you know, you just have to feel comfortable in your environment. Now again, guys, thank you guys for watching my video. Have any comments? Please leave your comments in the comments section. Again, thank you for watching my video, and I'm out.